There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time.
Welcome, everybody, to the Money Time Podcast. I'm your host, Adrian Hernandez, and with me today, guys, is the one and only Mr. James Prideaux. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Did I say the last name right?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Or if you want to be a little spicy, Prideaux.
Prideaux? Is that German?
It's French.
So for those of the people who don't know who you are, who are you?
I'm James Prideaux. I was the first official videographer for Adrian.
Yeah.
And that's where the story starts.
And it's a crazy story, guys. I'm super, super proud of this guy. Before we get started on the show, I just want to let you know, like, dude, I'm so inspired. I was telling Kellyanne last night, like, I'm so inspired and happy about the way your life has transitioned. You guys, I mean, in essence, he was sleeping in his car. We're going to get into all this, right? But you were sleeping in your car for quite some time, right? And you went on an adventure that most people don't go on. Right. And most people that are scared to go on. And you went on this adventure. And I can't wait to talk about this adventure. And then we met. And then we had some great times. But let's get into it. What are you, because, you know, obviously we're going to talk about the story. But what are you doing now? Let's like kind of fast forward. And then what we're going to do is we're going to close the gap.
Okay. So right now I'm just fully focused on e-commerce. Obviously we saw the massive e-com boom in like 2015. It's still continuing. Amazon's going nuts. So full e-commerce, glory to God. Thanks to Adrian. He made that all happen for me. So
that's awesome. So you're in e-commerce, and you guys, I mean, it's not like you're making, you know, $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month. You now have some serious momentum in the space, right?
We can pump the money. That's for sure.
I love
TikTok ads, Snapchat ads, just anything to produce quite a bit of revenue.
I love it. And what are you guys selling?
Literally anything. Any trending product that you see on TikTok, we're going to take it and scale it.
That's awesome.
So,
and how old are you?
23.
23 years old.
23.
Dude, that is so awesome. 23. Damn, you'll be a multi-millionaire by the time you're like fucking 29, bro. 28.
Bro, I hope.
All right, so how did this all happen? So you didn't just fall into this 6-figure e-com company and all of a sudden you just woke up one day and like you're posting all this stuff on Instagram like how most people think it is, right?
Right.
What happened? Explain the journey.
Do you want to go straight from the beginning?
Let's go to the beginning.
To when I met you?
No. I want to go deeper than that.
Oh,
because where are you from?
Okay, well, I'm from Minnesota originally. A lot of Fortune 500 companies are from there. So in my head, I always knew that college wasn't for me. I was actually enrolled the first day. I moved to Denver to go to college, and I just didn't go.
Shit.
I was signed up for classes, and then the first day rolled around, and I was like, I'm not going. There's no way I'm doing that. Didn't go. So I was like, okay, if everybody's coming out of college 4 years deep, and they're just going to be making how much money, I was like, I have to do something. Like, I can't just not. Why am I here? So I was like, okay, business. I've always wanted to do some sort of business or have at least enough money to go travel or just do fun things. Who doesn't?
Right.
So then I come across Amazon FBA. And one of my friends, his friend or his mentor at the time, did that. And I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Kept kind of researching in YouTube, whatever. Then I came across dropshipping. Dropshipping sold it for me because I didn't have to order product upfront from China. All I had to do was first sell the product, then figure out how to get it to the customer. And that just blew my brain. I was like, wow, okay, this is it. This is what I want to do for sure. So I tried to do it for how long? It didn't end up working. People were teaching me the wrong information. You pay for what you get. And I wasn't getting the information that I needed. So kind of put that dream aside. I was like, okay, well, what am I good at right now? I'm good at video. So I can make my connections with video. And then maybe someone can teach me something or it'll just build from that small foundation. So time went on. I met you. We'll get into that.
So you graduate high school.
Yep.
You're supposed to go to Denver, and you're like, screw that, I'm not going.
I actually,
Right.
I moved to Denver by myself in the summer.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was crazy. I lived there for like 2.5 months by myself. And then all my friends came. I was like, guys, you need to get out here. Like, I don't know what to do. You guys want to come here. You said you were going to come here. You didn't. You need to come here now. Like, I'm not going home. You have to come here. So we all got a place.
Okay.
An apartment. It rolls around. They're smoking tons of weed. They're like, yeah, we're going to quit smoking weed once we get out there. I was like, bro, you're moving to Denver. You're not quitting. You're not.
Yeah.
No. So every day I just. And I'm
Rips.
like, I don't do that. But they're having a lot of fun not going to college. I'm not going to go.
So you moved back?
No, we stayed.
Okay.
We stayed in Denver for a full year.
Oh, shit.
And it was a lot of fun.
And how old were you?
I was 17 because I graduated high school early. Everyone else was 18. Then I turned 18.
So you turned 17, moved to Denver. All your buddies moved to Denver, and you guys are there for a year.
Yep.
Then what happened?
Then I was like, okay, what next? Denver was kind of mid. So I was like, all right, back to Minnesota for just a little bit. See what happens. I was kind of missing it. You know, everybody's still fresh out of high school, going to college. Summer's around. So I was like, yeah, let's go home. We go home, have some fun, whatever. Then I realized, like, okay, life's like kicking in. I'm going to be 19 soon. Like, what am I doing? I'm not doing anything. I didn't have a job. I didn't do anything. I was just kind of like doing video gigs on the side, just don't have enough money to eat.
Right.
Summer rolled around. The next summer, I stayed in Minnesota for a year, and people went back to college, whatever. Or no, people got off college. It's summer. But I'm like, okay, I really need to lock in. I need to do something. Go somewhere, do something. I was like, I love California. I love it. I need to go there. Have to. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave. I had $400 in my bank. I was like, I'm just going to go, see what happens. Worst comes to worst, I stay in my car and shower at the beach. That's what I was thinking. That worst came to worst. I was like, that's what I can do. Because I have a house on wheels, bro. Yeah. Then I can just shower at the beach. That was my thought.
Okay, so hold on. Time out. How old are you?
19 at the time.
So you're 19 at the time.
Yeah.
You have $400 in your pocket.
$400 in the pocket.
And you have this wild thought of, you know what? I'm going to California.
Yeah, bro.
And you get in your car and you say, worst case scenario, I'm going to sleep in the car and I'll just shower at the beach. Dude,
Exactly.
what the fuck?
Well, bro, because like you kind of have to make it happen. It's like,
I love it. No, I absolutely love it. Because and not only that, I love it because of where you're at now and how the whole story comes together. This is so good. Okay, so you get in your beautiful, brand new car, right? And drive to California.
Yeah.
Tell us that.
it was like what is it? It was like early 2000 Subaru Forester. It was okay at the time. But prior to this, me and my friends went on a full road trip that winter, right before the summer I moved, and clapped that thing. So we drove all the way across the country.
So this is a Subaru, guys. This is a Subaru, like, think of like a hatchback / station wagon-ish, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm just trucking in that, have all my stuff packed up in the back, bunch of clothes, whatever. I'm feeling good. Like at the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, I'm
this.
doing it. I feel good. Got my hair cut, got a little button-up shirt. I'm like, I'm going to California. Okay. And then I reached Las Vegas, and it just like hit me. I was like, what am I doing? I was like, I'm gonna turn around.
Oh shit.
I was like, I'm not going.
So you get to Vegas.
I get to Vegas.
Do you stay in Vegas for a little bit?
No, I just like look at everything and I just got like super mad. I was like, what am I doing? This makes no sense.
Oh wow.
$400? Are you stupid? So I go on Craigslist. I'm just like trying to find any job I can get. And then I come across this like scam or whatever. I was like, okay, no, that's a scam. Not going to do it. I'm going to California. I'm going to sleep in my car. That's just what's going to happen.
Let's go.
So I meet up with my buddy Jake. Jake's a skateboarder. I grew up with him. He's a professional skateboarder now. Oh. And that was the dream all along, was to like be professional. But then in high school, I was like, I just got kind of over the idea. Jake was crushing. I was like, screw it. I'm not even, no.
So your whole dream was to be a professional skateboarder?
Yeah.
No shit.
That was the start because we grew up together and we were just like bumping heads. He was getting really good. I was getting really good. And then it came to a time where I was just kind of over it. I don't know. Something just happened. Girls, cars. I don't know. I was just like over it.
Right.
Jake continued on with the dream and he's professional now. He skates for Converse.
Oh, no.
It's kind of nuts. Yeah.
So since then till now, he's in Converse? Because I remember when he was...
Yeah, he's down in Oceanside. So
he was just starting to turn pro.
Yep.
Wow.
So he's pro now. So that's cool. So I stayed with Jake actually in Oceanside when I first got here. He's like, yeah, you can crash for a bit. Stayed there for a week. He's like, okay, what can I do? What do I have in my arsenal? Like as a person, what kind of skills do I have? I was like, okay, I have video, But that's it. I don't know anyone. I don't know what I'm going to do. I need to have some sort of money. This money's running out quick. I'm going to eat once a day.
$400, yeah.
$400.
In California.
Yeah, you have gas.
In 2018. 17?
18? No, 19. 19. And I'm like, okay, DoorDash. I'm just going to DoorDash. That was enough for like just food, just chilling, some gas, whatever. If I wanted to go to a coffee shop, work, do something, that was enough. So I would DoorDash, and then I'd drive up to Newport and sleep in my car because I knew Newport was like a safe area. It was chill. So I'd park actually in the Pavilions parking lot right on Balboa Island, just chill there. So I was good for a while. But then they actually started knocking on my window. They're like, bro, like, you can't be here. You can't sleep here.
Yeah.
Like, okay, fair enough. Move the car just down the road, sleep on the side of the road, and I'm good.
So the dream of sleeping in your car and showering at the beach came to
That came to life. I showered at the beach a lot.
Wow.
Just had to buy shampoo. So that was kind of brutal. But yeah, I made it to California.
Dude, that's crazy. That's an insane story.
Yeah. And enter you. So I put on my phone a list because I was like, okay, DoorDash is not cutting it. I'm not going to make a living doing this. I needed to do something. Again, It was just another moment. I was like, something has to happen. So in my phone, in my notes, I looked up all the people that potentially might need a videographer, and Adrian was one on the list. So I DM'd all these people with the most seducing copywriting I could put together. I was like, I'll do this, blah, 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 I'll work for free, whatever. And Adrian was like, I like the sound of that. Adrian responded, called me up. He's like, why don't you come down to the office? So I came down to the office, and you're like, what's good? We kind of clicked right away. You're just showing me all stuff about real estate, and I was just confused. I was like, okay, well, I don't know what's happening. I told you my story. You're like, dang, I kind of have some respect for you. That's cool. You're like, well, I want to pay you. I was like, perfect. Okay.
Good, because I need to get paid.
First job, check. So now I'm linked in with Adrian. He didn't know I was sleeping in my car yet. I don't know what he thought, but staying in my car, showering at the beach. Adrian needed me. I'd be there in the morning and then work throughout the day.
Right.
So that's how we met.
Yeah. I remember the email. Didn't it say, I want to be your next D-Rock?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what the email said.
That's exactly what it was.
Or the email or the message or whatever. I remember seeing that.
Yep.
Yeah, and he came to the office. And I remember hearing his story, and he's like, no, I got in my car. I drove to California. I'm here. I came with $400. He's telling me this story, and I'm like, what the fuck? Now, mind you, I didn't know he was living in his car. Like, I don't think that clicked yet.
You didn't know for like a few weeks.
Yeah, I didn't know. And I was just inspired at the fact that you had taken a leap of faith, because there are so many people out there that have this idea of, I want to get out of my hometown. I want to do something bigger than what I was, where I've been raised, right? I want more, but yet they always have that hesitation. They always have that fear or the insecurity that holds them back. What do you have to say to that for those people that are stuck? Because, you took the leap of faith.
Yeah. Everybody's going to have that like point in time. I know you've had it where you've been scared.
For sure.
And I know where we're sitting right now was probably a little scary.
For sure.
When you did it. But to say that, you have to ask yourself, you kind of have to weigh the options. Like in the Bible, it says, what man builds a tower or a building without knowing the costs first? So if you can know the costs, okay, if I take this action, what could be bad? What's the worst case scenario? And if the worst case scenario is the same as what you're at, or just a little worse or a little better, who cares? Try it for a year. If you're going to live long and you drink non-fluoridated water, then you'll probably, hopefully, live a decent amount of time. So just take it. There's no risk, especially when you're young.
So good, dude. I love it. Is this non-fluoridated water?
I hope so. It says it's spring water, so
I hope so too. But it's Fiji.
we'll see. It's bougie.
Yeah. You think
like
Fiji will ever sponsor the show? Fiji? Will
What's
you?
up?
DM, maybe, possibly. All right, so you come on board. You're now you're a videographer, right?
Mhm.
You're filming, you're editing, right? But you still have this e-commerce thing in the back of your head. So
Yeah.
how did this all unfold?
So we were actually in your car, the old 7 Series that you had.
Oh yes,
The boat, the land
Boat.
yacht. And you're like, bro, like if you ever want to do anything like e-commerce related, I've always wanted to get into it. Like if you want to do it, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for your mentorship. And I was like, totally took me back to Denver when I wanted to do e-com, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is nuts.
I think you were talking about some kid who was crushing it.
Yeah, probably. Hayden Bowles, yeah.
It was Hayden. That's exactly who it was. You
He's
had
from
brought up
Minnesota. He's
Hayden.
actually from my hometown.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Is he doing even better now?
Yeah, I think he actually is in real estate now. He might still do a little e-commerce, but
Oh, wow. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I remember you sharing the story, and I was like, dude, if you're, let's run.
Yeah.
Let's run. So what happened?
just fire inside of my head. And I was like, wow. I may have not showed it to Adrian because at the time I was really closed off and just like, I was kind of shy. So I just took it in my head and thought about it, let it marinate in my head, whatever. Kind of brushed it off a bit because I wasn't in the total like best mental state at the time. So I was like, okay, just focus on getting the money with Adrian, and if anything comes about it, hopefully it will, and it did. But
so what happened though? I mean, you didn't just get money, started making ads. Like, what was the process?
okay, so I kept doing video for Adrian at the time. We'd go to Arizona, we'd meet up with some of his friends, just film anything and everything. We went to Ohio, whatever. It was a good time, but I didn't have the best work ethic at the time, and I was getting I was just kind of sick of doing video. Like, I was like, I don't want to do this, but I also made this commitment, and I don't have this much money, and my mind's going in different spaces at the time, and I'm just kind of like scared, a little depressed, just didn't know what to do. So then I start researching on the e-commerce thing. You noticed a drop in my productivity as video went on, and you're just like, bro, like, where are you at? What's going on? What are you doing? I wasn't vocal about it. I didn't know what I was doing. I was kind of hiding it from you at the time.
Yeah.
And you noticed that. You said, bro, like, tell me what's going on. And I was like, dude, I don't know. Brought up e-commerce again. You're like, okay, I need to know now. Are you going to do it or are you not? You need to make the decision. It was after you got the Aston Martin. You pulled up to the office at night. You're like, bro, like, I need to know now. What are you going to do? I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And then I got linked up with Luke All. He was the one that mentored me. Adrian paid for it. So that was like $3,000. Got on the calls, and everything that I learned prior in Denver, I had a little solid foundation of what I knew and what needed to happen. But it was just that extra little thing that would just make it click. I needed to see what worked and what didn't. So if I had that clear distinction on what's working for people and what's not, and someone to be honest with me, you buy a course, sometimes, no, I shouldn't say sometimes, all the time, they're never completely honest with you.
Yep.
They're giving you sauce, but they're not giving all of it. There's something that they're holding back. Because why would they tell you everything? It makes no sense. If they're making a ton of money, why are they telling you everything?
Yeah. Or they're going to keep selling you on programs to make you think that they're telling you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then it's just a whole nother mental game. So okay, I think I can trust this Luke All guy. I could. He showed me everything. He went into his ad account, showed me products at work. I was like, whoa, okay. It clicked. First product, well, okay. I can't really take full credit for it because he's like, bro, just sell this product. I was like, okay. So I took the product, knew everything that I needed to do branding wise, whatever. I made it look decent. Like, the website looked good. Next day, got my first 2 sales. I was like, what? Like, how? I actually didn't think it was real. I thought people were lying.
Is that the watch?
That was the fitness band. I was like,
Fitness
bro, this
band.
is not real. It happened. I was like, dang, this is so cool. So I went back this was around Christmas time. So I went back to Minnesota for Christmas and New Year's. I showed my friend Braden at the time, and he dabbled in e-commerce as well, because when I was in Denver, I told Braden about it. He had a couple Instagram pages that he was running. He was only like 13. And he was
Braden was 13 at the time?
Yeah, bro. Like,
Wait, hold on. Braden was 13 when he moved to Denver?
No.
Oh,
No. He was still in Minnesota.
Okay.
So I knew him from the skate park. And
Okay, all right.
he was my little homie, whatever. And I just knew he was smart. Like, he was different. Like, his brothers would skate. All 3 of them skated.
Right.
But he was just different. And I looked at him. I was like, okay, he could probably understand this. So I told him about dropshipping in Denver.
Right.
So he kind of dabbled with it along with me in this whole journey up until I met you. Then when I came home after I got results, I showed Braden everything. He couldn't believe it either. He was like, nope, fake. It's not real. I was like, refresh. It's real, bro. Like, Facebook ads work. He's like, he was mind blown. I was like, okay. So he throws up a product. and it works. Slapper right away. We're both making like $300 profit a day. And we're like doing the calculation. We're like 300 times 365. Bro, it's $100,000 a year. We're like, oh my gosh, this is so lit. And I came back here and I was stoked. Like my eyes opened. I was like, oh, this is dope. Can get some new clothes, like chill, whatever. But I come back and I'm still a videographer for you. You're expecting me to perform. Right. And at the time I was like, oh no, I don't have to do that anymore. But it's like, yes, you do. You made a commitment. You have to do that. And I didn't fulfill it at the time. So that was bad. I was being really selfish and I was just like, okay, I'm different now, but I wasn't different. The only thing that changed was a little bit of information that allowed me to make a little bit of money at the time. And it was thanks to you. I didn't even pay you back for the laptop that you bought me yet. Right. So I was in debt for the laptop with you because you're like, I'm going to get you a laptop because mine was like a 2015, just a chunker. And
the old brick one.
Was super slow. So you bought me a laptop, you bought me this mentorship, and I come back and I think I'm so cool. I think I'm just making money with e-commerce, whatever, and I don't have to do video anymore. Nope, not the case. So then I get kind of in my head about that and I get a little mad or whatever, but it's like, bro, you made the commitment. You have to fulfill it. Right. So we go on. I do some video, still slacking though. Like I was not performing at the way I should be. E-commerce, gas pedal. I just let it off because at the time I was excited, gas pedal on, saw the profit, I started to take it off, wasn't really doing much. Did stupid work to make me feel like I was doing something. You know, the 80-20 rule, the 20% of your work is 80% of the results. Right. So I was doing the opposite, like the stupid work that meant nothing, answering to customers. Hire a VA, bro. You don't need to do that. Right. So I was like, oh, I'm busy, I'm making money. It wasn't the case.
Was there something mentally that occurred when that happened? Was it like a ego thing? Was it is there anything that you could put to it now that you've learned from it?
Yeah, 100% ego.
Really?
Oh yeah. So it's like.
So explain that, because there's a lot of people. I mean, I remember being your age, and we all go through it. I had the same exact experience, just in a different context. Yep. So just explain what happened mentally and how that occurred, and then how you were able to. How it took you this way, but then how you ultimately changed it.
Right. So, I mean, with anybody getting power, you feel a little different at first because, like, you see a little bit of success. Sometimes your mind's not ready for it, though. A lot of people do visualization and stuff, which is really good because then it can kind of prepare you for that moment to think in a different way or, like, reprogram your mind to think a different way. But at the time, I didn't really know much about that at all. I just kind of, like, I was on autopilot. Like I was probably an NPC at the time, a little bit conscious, but still like my emotions were controlling me at the time. So I didn't have control over them. They had control over me.
So good.
So yeah, that was basically it. And then as time went on, I'd reflect on it. I'm okay, what happened? But I guess that's after COVID because COVID happened.
Right in the midst of it.
Right in the midst of that. Right. So I wasn't treating Adrian right. I was just kind of slacking on all ends, kind of in a weird mental state. I didn't really know what was going on. COVID happened. I was like, not staying here. Went back to Minnesota. Broke my foot. A big boulder, like the size of this table. Like it was heavy, bro. It was like the size of this table probably and like this thick.
What?
Just smashed my foot. Just, yeah.
What were you doing again?
There's like quarries there that you can jump off and go into the water, but it was March, so it was still kind of frozen in Minnesota. So we were kicking them off with our feet, just acting stupid. And the thing rolled on my foot and just smashed it. I was like, that was like rock bottom. Because then I had time to like process and think. Everybody was at their own house doing their own thing, but I was staying at my friend's at the time back in Minnesota. I had the broken foot, and that's when everything clicked in my head. I was like, okay. I didn't treat Adrian right. He did so much for me. I still haven't paid him back. I'm in Minnesota and COVID's happening. Like, this is not a good situation. And there was a lot of fear mongering at that time. I'm sure you saw it in real estate. Obviously, like, what do we do?
Right.
So that's when I had to start changing my thoughts and taking accountability for the things. And that's when it planted the seed. Although I didn't take action immediately, the seed was planted inside of my head. And then throughout time, I finally paid Adrian back. I think it was, I actually can go back on Venmo when I painted.
You don't have to go back on my mom. Yeah. It wasn't that long after that.
It wasn't
It was a
too
couple
long.
of months after that.
Yeah.
But this is important because you were like at rock bottom driving to California, right?
Yes.
And then you started to climb up this ladder and you started to get some success, or what you thought was success at the time, which we all go through it, right? We all think it's success. And we get here to realize like after like you weren't really doing shit, right? But at the time we thought we were fucking Captain Dingling, right? And then all of a sudden you get in your head about it, or things may not start clicking the way you think they are.
Right.
And then you start going down, and all of a sudden you get in your head and you end up going lower than where you first originally started mentally. Right. And that's what happened. And that took you all the way down the boulder. And how long would you say you were in your head from you getting back to to finally clicking mentally, sitting on the couch with your leg broken, not being able to go anywhere?
Well, I know it was like for me, just connecting more with God. Because when I came out to California, that's when I started to like read my Bible,
Right.
and stuff like that. So my mind definitely changed from the Bible to make me like think different and be better, because without God, you're kind of selfish. Everybody's selfish. You wake up in the morning, I need to brush my teeth. You wake up, I'm hungry. I'm this, I'm thirsty all the time. So we're naturally selfish, but then the Bible can kind of break it down and be like, less of me, more of God. So I guess the seed was planted maybe a bit earlier
I love that.
in that time period. But gosh dang, what was the question?
How long were you
How
down
long
that
was-
spiral until you were able to change?
So back from COVID, I was still reading the Bible more, getting back into it.
Did you get away from the Bible when you were in your head at all?
I think a little bit.
Mm.
I think a little bit.
Okay.
And I know you gifted me the book Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
So that was cool. And it talked about sexual energy, how that's super powerful. It says in the Bible, don't lust over women, don't commit adultery, whatever. There's probably a reason for that. If God's saying it, and then Napoleon Hill comes out and says that's your most powerful energy, it's true. So I took that into account. I was like, okay, something needs to change. You know what I'm talking about in Minnesota. And I'm like, all right, stop. That was the period of time when things actually got better.
Oh,
when I was more obedient to God, and when I cut that stuff out.
Wow.
Yeah, way better. It was summer. So things clicked. I was like, okay, I'm paying Adrian back. I'm doing this, but I still need to make more money. I don't know what's going on. Products from China aren't getting shipped, whatever. I'm like, okay. The first product that worked was the fitness band. Well, if that worked and the Apple Watch still sells, what else can sell that's like that? I took the exact same product, but just a better version with a better offer and better creatives, better ads, and it spanked. It just hit. So I was like, okay, perfect. We're back in the money. We're doing good. But it's that same thing. Like you said, you get that success, and it comes down because you think you're so cool or whatever.
Right.
And then you build back up. So you hit the gas pedal. You're feeling good. Money starts coming in. Then you take it off. And then the decline happens all over again.
Yep.
So hit the gas in the summer. Then it kind of came to a taper
I didn't know that.
again.
So it came to a taper again, and that was
That
during
was-
COVID to 2021.
That was yeah. So we went. Me and Braden actually went to Miami.
You're in Miami at this time.
Well, no, we went to just go visit.
Oh, okay.
Because we made all this
Okay.
money in the summer. Braden was killing it. I was killing it. We were just disc golfing every day, just getting food, whatever, at outside places because COVID's going on.
Right.
Walking a ton, getting my 10K steps in, whatever. So we go to Miami. We're like, Miami's open. That'll be fun. So we go there. It's cool. I didn't work a single. Well, okay, that's a lie. I probably worked 7 days, maybe.
While you were there.
Yeah. But it wasn't like a lot.
And how long
It was
were you
like
there
at
for?
night, just upping the budget on
Yeah.
something. So Braden was in his room like crushing. All that kid knew was e-commerce. I convinced him to drop out of high school, and he did.
Oh, he didn't finish.
No, never finished. He dropped out junior year.
Holy shit.
I was like, bro, you're so young. You have me. You have God. You understand this, bro. You have nothing in your. Have you ever gotten a job and they're like, okay, you have a high school diploma? They never ask for it.
Right.
Bro, you can drop out 10th grade when you're 16, whatever, and no one will ever know.
Right.
You do not need to finish high school. So I was like, bro, you need to drop out. His parents were like, no, you got to stay in, blah, blah, blah. Braden showed him how much money he was making. They're like, oh, okay, go for it. You can drop out.
How much money was he making?
Bro, he was like 16, making 100K, like easy, just clean lick. And at 16, that's like,
Yeah. Well, and in Minnesota, it's a lot of money
bro, you can do anything.
with the 100 grand in
Yeah,
Minnesota.
so we're like, let's go to Miami,
Moving to
whatever.
Minnesota.
I wasn't working. I let off the gas pedal, but Braden was still kicking
Right.
because he just has that in him. That's all he knows. He probably doesn't even know mathematical formulas in high school.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But he just knows that, and that
He
will
knows
make him
that.
millions of
That
dollars.
was his high school, was e-commerce. I'm dead serious. So he was crushing it. And then we actually went with our other friend, Kieran. He was in his room doing whatever. And I'm just like sitting there and I get in a slump again. And I'm like, why does this keep on happening?
Are you guys visiting at the time?
Visiting Miami.
Okay,
We got an Airbnb
okay.
for the month.
Okay.
Yep. And then I let off the gas, as you saw in Miami. Worst part of my life comes. Again, it dips back down. I'm like, why is this happening? I don't get it. And it's because of the gas pedal thing. You have to keep the momentum going. When you're in an upward spiral, you need to continue to go. And I saw you do it every single day. Regardless of what your emotions were in the office, you were there on the computer getting deals done.
Right.
I was screwing off with Zach or Nick, making them laugh. And you're like, guys, like that's gas pedal. Let's go.
Right.
So I saw you do that. And I'm like, okay, what was Adrian doing? What are these successful people doing? Get on the gas again. So I have to go home now. Christoph, that was the kid that I was staying with prior when I broke my foot. His apartment lease was done when I went to Miami for the month.
Oh,
So I get back. I'm like, I don't have anywhere to go. I wasted all of my money in Miami. I have like nothing. What do I do? Okay. I mean, I have a little bit of money.
Yeah.
$2,000, $3,000. Okay. So I hear about this guy named Luca Netz. And Braden at the time kind of hit a plateau. Like, you're still making good money, but he was like, I need to learn more. Like, I need to understand something else.
Right.
There's more to this game than just this. I can't just keep doing this. I need to build on top of it.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, I know Luca because I did a little video work for him.
Mhm.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to text Luca. Braden, would you be down to pay Luca $10K to just learn from him? Like, this is the GOAT of ecom, and he wasn't really like, people didn't know him that
Right.
much. So he was an underground guy. He's going to tell us the truth. So we linked up with him in LA. We went in December. So a few weeks after we got back to Minnesota, we left again to go to LA, meet up with Luca. And then he kind of just opened our eyes again
Right.
to new possibilities with ecom and blah, blah, blah. That's a lifelong connection made from that. Luca's such a good guy. Now he's in NFTs doing Pudgy Penguins, which is super cool. But that happened.
That's cool.
I let off the gas again.
Wow.
After I learned all this stuff, okay, I get back home. COVID's happening. They locked us down again for the second time. You remember that in the winter?
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
So I'm just getting kind of depressed. I'm fear mongering. I'm like, the end of the world is coming. I was like, we are dying
rapture.
tomorrow.
The rapture is
Yes,
here.
bro. I was scared. Like,
Just so you guys know, we would make jokes. Like, even you were over last night, and my wife's like, "So, do you think the rapture's still coming?"
it's coming, but we don't know when.
It was just it's a funny inside joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
But by the way, I love how connected you are to God and how and yeah, I mean, when we met you, you gave us more of that understanding the Bible and getting closer to God. And
For sure.
That's when we were joining Saddleback and
Yep.
that whole thing was happening. So thank you for that. That was
yeah,
cool.
that was fun.
Yeah,
That was a
that
good
was fun.
time. It was funny though, but you could probably see it in me.
Yeah.
You're like, why not just die with the Ferrari? You don't have to die with the Subaru. Just die with the Ferrari.
Die with the Ferrari.
Like, obviously, you don't want to make money or everything because it's not everything. It's just a tool.
Yes, 100%.
We all know that, whatever. And I was like, okay, yeah, maybe you're right, whatever. But I was just fear-mongering at the time, back in Minnesota. I was like, the world's ending. We're under lockdown again. Effing martial law is going to happen. The army's going to come and just effing stick a needle in us. And I was like, what?
Not going to be able to eat.
Bro, yes. No, seriously. I like went to the grocery store, bro, and I bought like a massive bag of rice. Like, that's how bad it got. I thought a blackout was coming. It was bad, bro. You know. You know how I am.
Oh, I remember when it hit in California, you called me. You were like, I'm out. I'm out. I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm out.
Like,
you need to leave. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
bro, aren't you scared? Yeah. So that was just a crazy time. Like, it was bad, and I'm sure more people can relate to it. Everybody
Oh,
was using
no.
that funny sound on TikTok, the scary, yeah,
The Purge song. Yeah.
And I'm just like, is this really gonna happen? So that kind of took a toll, you know, because like you don't have any motivation when you're in a fear state. That's why you should not listen to the news. I mean, Tony Robbins is like, they're good people, but don't listen to them.
For sure.
Maybe that's just for a connection, but don't listen to them. It
Don't
never
listen
does any good. Scrolling on TikTok, all the news, it's literally to put you in a state of fear. If you look on like the vibrational scale or whatever, fear is like the bottom, isn't
Yep.
it? It's
Yep,
like
absolutely.
greed, fear, lust. Those are like,
All the way at the bottom.
yeah,
Yeah. And you're not attracting or you're not producing. You ain't doing anything in that fear state.
nothing.
No. And the radio and when you look at the news,
Yep.
that's all it is.
That's all it is. It's just constant negative news.
Constant negative news. I want to go back real fast. So you said something about, your emotions being in control of you versus
Yeah.
you being in control of them, right? This is so big because I struggled with this. I struggled with this for a very long time. Probably all of my 20s, I struggled with my emotions were so strong that I would let them dictate what I would do throughout the day, how I would respond, the actions that I would take, right? Until I realized that we are in control of our own emotions. We can direct them, we can use them to our advantage.
Yep.
So for those of you that are stuck there, right, that you feel like my emotions just take control and I know that I'm acting out of that space, number one, accept it, right? Because that's the first key, is accepting it. Acknowledging it is the same thing as accepting it. And then knowing how to change it, right? Knowing and understanding that I'm in control of this. I may be fearful right now. I may be super unconfident. I may be super insecure, but I'm going to take action regardless of that feeling.
Exactly.
Right? Regardless of that, because I mean, there's quote after quote after quote in the Bible that tells us and gives us proof on why we should.
Yep. Every time.
So
It's powerful, bro. 'Cause most people don't realize that.
no, they don't.
Well, it's like you can operate like a machine.
yeah. Well, they buy into it.
Yeah.
They buy into the emotion, and then because the emotion gives them some sort of it has them take some sort of action, and then they get a reaction, and that reaction is now their new sense of identity. And before you know it, that emotion just runs and runs and runs like a. You guys remember those CDs? The CD that's scratched. You remember CD-ROM? You old enough to remember CD-ROM?
No, I mean, I had a CD player, but not the CD-ROM. I get the idea, though.
It's a CD. It's just a CD that's scratched, and it just plays over and over again. If you ever scratch a CD and throw a CD into like a CD player and then it plays, it's not going to play a full movie. It's going to skip, right? It's going to skip, right? It's just the same thing with your tape. It's just skipping. It's just all your brain doing is skipping,
Yep.
right? And it's your job to take that out and replace it with
Whatever new program that you can put on.
that's not scratchy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you're going down another spiral. What happened?
So back in Minnesota.
Just paid $10K. You guys learn this new thing. Your eyes are open, but yet lockdown happens and you then come down mentally.
Yep. So I actually didn't even pay the 10K. Braden paid it.
Right.
So very thankful for that at the time. So we get back. I check my finances. I see what the supplier says, how much I owe them. It's all my money. All of it. I'm like, because I was like, I want to get some Yeezys. Like, that would just be cool. Because sometimes, when you put a little value on something like material, you're like, oh, that'll make me feel like this.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, I know that.
I was going to buy them, and then I do the finances. I'm like, I'm negative. I don't have money. I was like, how? Like, I actually don't get it.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, okay, square one again. Fearful state, downward spiral. I'm like, dude, what do I do? So then Luca's course comes out. So his course came out right after we got the mentorship. He's like, this is perfect for the mentorship. Whatever you guys ask me, I'll just include there and make sure I go through that. So I go through the course now. I see that clothing is big. He's like, clothing's huge. We're all wearing clothes. Clothes sells on Facebook. Okay. All right. So I'm looking on AdSpy is what the platform is called. I'm just scrolling, and I come across this banger. It says, "Good moms say bad words." I'm like, that's a banger.
That's
oh
it.
yeah. Every 40-year-old mom that drinks alcohol and smokes cigarettes, she is buying that. Yes. I was like,
I
yeah,
would be surprised if I've seen that shirt at the river.
bro, you probably
I
have
probably have.
clapped. I was so stoked on it.
So for my generation, when a generation older than me, what does clap mean?
it spanks. It's
What does spanks mean?
it's gas. Like it
What
goes.
does gas mean?
It does well. It means it does really well.
Is
Like
this
you're
like a
s-
Gen Z new
Yeah.
dictionary type
Yeah,
thing?
like you're spanking cheeks. Like it's working. It's working good.
I just can't.
Yeah.
I saw this thing on TikTok. It was Gen Z's breaking up with each other, and they're like, "Yo, you're being so sus," and they'd be like, "But last night was gas, but you were sus all night." And then it just used, I can't even use the words because I don't even know them. And it used all those words you just used. And they were breaking up with each other. It was hilarious.
Oh my gosh. It's the epitome of my generation for sure. Just using all these stupid slang terms. It's fun though. Like it's fun to use these terms because people don't get it. And if you do get it, you're like in with it. It's
Yeah.
funny.
All right.
But yeah, that means the product did well when it claps.
All right. So you got a clapping product.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I was like, this is good. We're on again. We're good. Gas pedal off.
Again.
Like, brother, do you not see a pattern? Like, what's going on? What is your IQ?
Are you dumb or
Are
something?
you left side of the bell curve or whatever?
Okay.
Okay. I get home. We're playing Pondy every night until 3 a.m, whatever, just cranking and getting food, being stupid. And I just wasn't doing anything.
I'm sorry. I just can't open that old clapping cheeks.
Yeah, bro.
Just gotta let it out for a second. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
You're good.
That was too funny. Okay, go ahead.
So it's clapping cheeks. No, I'm kidding. It did good. Gas pedals off. I'm not doing the daily work that needs to be done. Because, I mean, if there's no goal in mind, you have nowhere to go. Like John Maxwell says, if you have a goal in mind, it doesn't matter. Your headlights will shine 100 feet in front of you. When you go to the gas station or wherever you need to go, you put in your GPS gas station. You don't know every single move that you're going to take to get there, but you know the end result, and you're going to take it one step at a time.
Yep.
I wasn't taking it one step at a time because I had no goal in mind. So if I'm just looking at this array, there's so many different possibilities and so many different places I can go. I don't have a goal. So if I don't have a goal and I don't know what I want to do, then I don't know what I need to do.
And it's easy to pull off the gas.
Easy.
Yep. That's so good.
So
That is so good. And there's so many other people that fall into that same trap.
every time.
Right? It's just it's short term. It's a short term run, and then they stop. And the reason why you stop is because there's nothing else that you're running towards.
Yep.
Right? There's no end destination. Dude, that's so good.
Yeah.
And you learned that. I mean, you figured that out on
Yep,
your own.
I did.
Dude, that's profound.
But it took a while. It took so many times. The common theme of my story was just up and down,
Right.
up and down, up and down. And I'm not even going to lie. It happened until last year.
Wow.
Like it over and over and over. Bro, things got worse after that. Like really bad. So I was in that point, crashed again. Like, okay. I don't have any money again. Like, what's going on? Still kind of fearful, still whatever. COVID's happening. It's winter. Like, weather sucks. It's February. I'm at my mom's house. I'm like, I can't stay here. I'm not doing that.
And when winter in Minnesota is
Brutal. Negative 40 degrees. Like, it sucks.
snow 30 feet
All
high.
the time. Oh, bro. This last year, they got so much snow.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's bad. So everything kind of added up. I let the odds stack against me, and I just kind of felt sorry for myself, blah, 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 in my head, whatever. So I called my friend Cashway Chris, and he was the kid that got mentored by Luke before me. So I contacted him to make sure it was okay with you. I said, how was your mentorship with Luke All? He was like, it was good, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, okay, past success, it's good. We'll go with Luke to teach me. So that's the kid. I met up with him in Orlando. That came, I had like maybe $900 left over. Bear in mind, I actually had to borrow money from Braden.
Wow.
So I borrowed probably like $4K from
Wow.
Braden. So that's when my debt started racking up with Braden. I'll get into that too, for sure. So I go visit Cashway in Orlando. I'm like, all right, good. I'm out of Minnesota. This is good. But my mindset is still wrong. It's not in the right place. Cashway is very big on mindset and all these things. And he's very self-educated, lone wolf type of guy.
Right.
And I remember him just like dogging on me because of my mindset, and it messed with me even harder. He probably didn't understand because he didn't know where I was in my mental space. I love Chris though. Like he did me a good favor
Right.
by putting me in my place.
For sure.
So
Sometimes we need those people.
yeah. And he's like, bro, you have to fix this. You have to fix this. You have to do visualization, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. It just felt like a lot at the time. I was prideful. I was just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, sure. So then we go up to Georgia. He gets his brand new Mustang at the time. He was making good money. He came across TikTok Organic. That's when you could post anything on TikTok and it just went bananas.
Right.
Just parabolic, whatever. And he showed me that. And I was like, whoa, like this is nuts. So we actually start driving up to Georgia, making our way. And he's just showing me this, what his stores are doing, how he's doing it, making videos. And I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is very attainable. You don't have to spend any money on ads. You can literally just post on TikTok. So then I put together a list of all these products, past winning products that worked before on a different platform that I can take to TikTok Organic. So I went through all of them. I was like, Chris, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? He's like, no, no, no. I'm like, what about this? He's like, oh, that could work. So I'm like, okay, we'll keep that one, this. I'm like, all right, common theme, these 3 products, I'm going to order them. With basically the last of my money, I bought these products on Amazon and I was going to start making videos. One of the first ones I did, it got some views. It didn't work. I was kind of discouraged just a little bit, but I saw Chris doing it and it worked. I was like, this works. I'm going to keep at it.
Right.
We go up to Georgia. We meet up with Luke Belmar, chilling, talking for whatever. And then Chris went on this excursion by himself. He's like, bro, I'm sorry. I'm going to go do this by myself, whatever. You got to go. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I didn't have enough money for a plane ticket or anything. We were in Athens, Georgia, and I needed to drive to Atlanta to take the flight. I was like, that's not going to happen. I don't have anything. My credit card maxed out. So I'm like, Chris, can you please buy me a flight, bro? Like, how does this, I'm not going to go anywhere if you can't help me, you know? So he's like, okay. He Venmo'd me. I got the flight, got the Uber, last of my money, bro. I was like negative in my account again. Same position as last time, back in Minnesota, and the cycle continues. I meet up with Braden. Braden's doing well. He's happy. He's cool. But like under my skin, I'm just like so insecure of everything that happened, and just like I should have been better. I should have done this, this, and this, and I was kind of just dwelling on it.
Wow.
So when does that bring me to? Then I stay with my other friend in Minnesota. He's got a 12 kid family. So I'm in the house.
12 kid family?
Yeah. Shout out to Schulers.
Shit.
They basically are like my family. So they let me stay with them for a full year. I got my stuff back together. I went through the cycle just to keep it slim. Gas pedal, making money, down, up, down. But I laid a pretty good foundation. I understood what needed to happen. And then November 2021 rolled around. Braden's like, bro, we need to move to Miami. I'm sick and tired of being in Minnesota. I'm like, I agree. Let's do it.
And you're making okay money.
Yeah, I took with the organic thing, did whatever, had a couple products work and blah, 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 but still kind of doing this up and down cycle just over and over again, but not taking out my duties seriously, not treating it like a business.
Understood.
Because I just thought it was like this little personal venture.
Right.
Braden's like, okay, bro, you need to make some money, obviously, if we're going to go live in Miami. So Braden was gracious enough. He's like, bro, just take this product and do what you need to do with it. I was like, okay. That night, I was like praying to God. It's like, help me. Like, help, please. I'm on my last breath. This has happened too many times.
Right.
Benny Bills, this guy in Lucas course, this Discord that came to full fruition. Everybody's in there. Whole ecom community is just in there strong. He comes out with this glitch. And this glitch on TikTok, you could spend like a penny and get a sale. It made no sense. It was insane. It was a total fault in the system. And it was crazy. So basically what you would do is you'd take the campaign, you'd put a limit on how much the campaign can spend overall, like $50, but you'd have the budgets. You do 10 ad sets for like $1,000 each. So you're tricking TikTok into thinking you're spending thousands of dollars,
But
like
you're not.
$10,000 in one campaign, but the limit's only $50. So it squeezed it.
Oh.
Yeah, bro. It squeezed all the 10K into 50. And it spanked. It went bananas.
You were getting
bro.
sent ads at $10,000, which should have been $10,000.
Yeah, for $50. We'd bump it. Just bump the budget because you'd bump it. You'd bump it by $10 each time.
Oh.
It'd be at $50. Sometimes the 50 actually wouldn't hit and you'd lose the 50.
Right.
But you do the $10 bump was just insane. I was like, we're rich. We're rich. I don't know what to say. This is insane. So me and Braden went
That's awesome.
50-50 on that store. And I came up with like a unique angle to sell it.
Right.
And then with the glitch, just bananas. We probably spent like
Yes.
$3K on ads
And
to do well over 5 figures
Oh, shit.
in a day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So glory to God. I prayed for that moment. I was just like, whoa, we just did that. But I knew in my head, I was like, that's not going to last forever. Like this glitch is going to get patched.
Right.
So we just kept cranking it every single day that we could. I was like, okay, I feel good. Thank you, God. I feel a little bit more stable. We moved to Miami. It's going good. And gas pedal off. Again. But this time with a bit more money, so there's a bit more comfortability, whatever.
Complacency.
You know?
Yeah. I think that was more complacency at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then yeah. That's a different type of pull off.
Yeah,
Was
kind
it?
of.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Because
Yeah.
you've done something a bit remarkable.
For sure.
But it's still like you're taking the gas off. What are
Yeah.
you doing? Get back on.
Yeah.
Just,
And I've been there before.
Yeah.
I've been there before. I think we all have. If you haven't, it's just a matter of time before you do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that happened. Went broke again in Miami.
Oh, when you were in Miami.
Yep.
Now-
Still had brain money.
Now they didn't just move to Miami. You guys moved to like Miami.
Yeah, like downtown Brickell, right across the street from the FTX arena at the time.
Sick.
So it was cool. But I was like, okay, like, kind of have to make money.
Right.
We're in this skyrise apartment in Miami. And I'm like, okay, I get the common theme. This is the lesson God was trying to show me. The common theme. I get it now. Don't let off the gas. Ever. Even if you let off a little bit, stay on it some. Like, just do something productive.
Yeah.
Have a goal in mind. Visualize. Take the steps necessary. Break it down. And start chipping at it.
And it's those goals. It's the short-term and long-term goals that help you keep your foot on the gas.
Yep.
Right? The way I see it is you never really fully pull off, but you never really fully are full throttle, right? Because what happens to an engine when it's full throttle?
Burnout.
It'll eventually burn out, right? So you never want to do that. It's a balance, right? They say life is a balance. I think it's more, and I don't really believe that. I believe in more the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, we're on, okay.
Yeah.
Things are going on right now. I need to pull off a little bit. Oh shit. I see what's coming. Let's get on.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
That's awesome.
That was the exact lesson that I learned from all of that. And at the time, I owed Braden a ton of money.
And God was trying to teach you this lesson for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years?
Forever.
Your whole life.
From the day I was born. Pattern recognition. Don't take the gas off.
So good.
Yeah. So that happened. We were in Miami. I prayed out to God again. I was like, I think I get it. I wasn't being obedient. It's like, let me be obedient again. Let me learn my lesson. Things were good again. It's like, okay. I get the theme. I get it. And then we're like, okay, Miami's done. We're not going to stay here. We don't like it here. Where are we going to go? California. We took a trip in October here, and I fell in love with California all over again. We went up in the hills, the Hollywood Hills, and I was just like, oh my gosh, dude. I love this place. Braden was like, yep, we're getting a house. Have to. Must. Now. It's like, all right, Miami's done. Now we're here.
Now you're making money in Miami. You put your foot back on the gas in Miami?
Yeah, at the end, because
Okay, good.
I did bad business with bad people, and that's never good. If someone's willing to screw other people over and you see them do it or they talk about it, they're going to do it to you.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah.
Like, that's obvious, but sometimes you need to go through it to understand that. That's what happened to me. Really bad stuff happened. Like, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Like, this was actually, it was like such a high, but such a low at the same time. It was like you're in a higher position at the lowest point ever. I was like, what do? I have experience under my belt, but then come the emotions, and then you get hit with this and this and this, and it weighs you down. You're like, dude, what do I do?
Right.
I can't do it myself. Pray to God, helped me out. Done. Got it done. I was like, wow, God's powerful.
Yes, he is.
So now we're here.
So you fix all that. You guys then moved to California.
Yep.
Right. And that was recently.
Yeah. Just in March, like a few months ago.
Okay. And your foot back on the gas.
Foot's back on the gas. Always, brother.
Okay, good. Well, what did you learn from that? I mean, where's the store at now? What have you guys done since you've, got over that hurdle of bad business partner? And
it actually happened in like January, like pretty recently, when I got over that like hump. We visited in New York. So something me and Braden like to do, and our friend Josh, we like to just go to different places, switch up the environment, and then just crank out some work there. Because it's totally different.
Right.
Mr. Beast even talks about it. He's like, how am I supposed to come up with new ideas if I'm doing the same thing?
Right.
If you do, no, you'll always get what you always got if you always do what you always done.
Yep.
So do something different. It'll lead to new neural pathways, and better things will come of it. So we took that trip to New York, and that's when a lot of things kind of solidified and changed.
Good. I love that.
Yeah.
So now what type of store are you running?
Now, I mean, we've jumped a couple times, but in January, I forgot what Braden was selling, but I was selling like a plush animal on TikTok that was doing really well at the time.
That did very well.
Yeah.
So you guys are still running ads on TikTok and
Yeah, TikTok, Snapchat. TikTok got kind of weird for a little bit in the early January, so we all switched to Snapchat.
Okay.
And did some Google, whatever, and then back on TikTok.
So it sounds like your demographic is more younger demographic.
For sure.
Yeah.
More consumable stuff.
Yeah.
Just for, I mean, the Facebook moms, good moms say bad words.
Is that still clapping?
I mean, that product died out fairly quickly.
Did it?
But those people, they have disposable income.
Yeah.
They have their pension or whatever. They can just buy whatever.
Yeah.
So Facebook still works for sure.
Heck yeah. So you've obviously gone up and down these roller coasters, right? Learning. Do you think you've learned now?
I think I've learned now.
Yeah.
But it's also like the thing,
Yeah.
being scared to take action sometimes, like we talked earlier, is like you always have to get over that fear
For sure.
to be able to take action. It's just new risks or new whatever.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's hard to put your foot on the gas,
Right.
but you just have to do it.
Well, and then when you just from outside looking in, you really need some accountability to when you start to go down and you notice that you start to put your foot off. The moment you notice it, you have that peer group, you have a coach, you have an accountability partner that you can call and say, hey, I'm starting to do it again. Yep. Right. And that person can help you redirect.
Absolutely. You need a mentor.
Yeah,
you need
100%.
a coach.
And maybe it's just Braden who's right there with you. You know what I mean? That's, and sometimes that's hard because, you don't want him, or I know for me, it was hard because I didn't want that person to know but yet the moment I had that person hold me accountable, it was the most closest person to me.
Right.
It was different, right? It was different. So
It is,
maybe just something to think about. Right?
Definitely. It's like if you're too prideful to take it, but you have to be like, okay,
Yeah.
this is where I'm at.
Never be afraid to ask for help. Like I'm never afraid to ask anybody for help.
Can't.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest problem in the world today is that there are so many people that are afraid to ask for help.
Absolutely.
And there are so many people that are out there willing to help you if you just asked for fucking help,
Yeah,
right?
it's true. It really is. I didn't think people would be that willing. You took me in your own home, bro.
Yeah, well, I wish it was more, but
It was nuts. That was like, wow, this is fire. So yeah,
People
people are
wanna
definitely
help.
there.
people definitely want to help.
It's true.
Yeah,
The right ones.
the right ones. So where does James Prideaux go next? What's next for him?
That's the thing. I know Luke Belmar talks a lot about on like energy and stuff, like money is energy. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm the type of person that likes to keep things kind of hush until they happen,
Right.
just because, like, why am I talking about it, you know? Or like, even in the Bible, it actually says, it's like, who are you to say you're going to go do this and this and this? Your life is but a vapor. You're nothing. We're just a little dot compared, just a little stipple of the pen compared to everybody else that's been here or will be here. So I'm just kind of seek God for that. Like, where am I going? What do you want me to do?
It's good.
Whatever. So
Is
we'll
there
see.
something that's been calling you, or is there like a dream that you do have for the future?
Okay, well, I will say this because I don't think it's wrong to talk about this. Is like homeless people. Like I've always like felt like I need to help homeless people. I have no idea why, but like I swear in Miami, I'd be walking the streets and I'd just like say, God, like if you want anyone to come up to me and ask me for something, do it. One after the other after the other. They wouldn't talk to other people, but they'd talk to me. And you could say, oh, maybe it's because I'm small or I look like very approachable. Maybe I am approachable. But like if God's going to do it every time, I've had instances where like I'll walk past someone, they won't say anything to me. I'll actually turn around and then ask them. He's like, man, I was hoping you were going to say something. I was talking to God and I was like, I was really hoping you were going to say something to me, man. And that's happened countless times
Wow.
in Miami. So
Yeah.
maybe something with the homeless
That'd be cool.
to help them. Because I know there's some people that are too far gone
Right.
that are just nuts. But then there's also like the people that bad stuff happened to them and bad situations happen and they're in a bad mindset, a downward spiral, and they don't know how to get out. They don't have the resources, they don't have whatever, but they can make it. They have the potential. I'd like to help those people
That's so good, dude.
in some way.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I learned a lot of that from Eddie.
Yeah.
Well, you remember, Eddie just, anytime he sees a homeless person, he just gives them money.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how much is in his pocket, dude. He'll just give it to him.
Eddie's cool.
And I learned that from him. And now I do it. And a lot of my friends are like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, why
Yeah.
would you do that? And I'm like, who am I to judge what they do with the money?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Who am I to judge?
It's up to them. It's
It's
on
up to
them.
But
Blood's off your
if
hands.
there's something in your heart that says you need to give that person
Oh, yeah.
something, you take action on what that is.
Have to.
Right. And now it's like every single time, right? And there's times where Kellyanne's like, you just gave like
What are you doing?
You just gave we were just at the other stoplight, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, so, I do, yeah. No, I love that, dude. Maybe because you were in that situation yourself.
Yeah, maybe. Like I always like wish someone would do something for me, but people have done things for me.
Yeah.
Adrian did something for me.
Well,
You
the guy
know?
who bought you the plane ticket.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all the
dude.
time.
Yeah.
So it's like, what would I want
Right.
to happen to me? I'd want someone to believe in me or do this or do that. It's like, why do you have money anyway? At a certain point, the car becomes a car, the house becomes a house, and it's nice. You can be super appreciative of it and be like, wow, this is amazing. Thank you. But what do you do after?
Right.
Alex Ramosi talks about it. It's like you come into the casino of life, you get all the chips, but you have to leave them when you leave. So it's like, do something with it.
Yeah. Help.
Yep. Help.
There's only so many cars you can buy, so many
Yes.
watches you can buy.
Yep.
And they say, well, the Bible says, right, our job in this world is to give back what we know,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I believe it's also to give back what we have,
Yeah,
in a sense,
for sure.
to help others.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I love it, dude. I love it. This was cool. Curious to know if there's some advice that you would leave somebody your age, maybe younger, maybe that have been in a similar situation than you. Because I know you're not the only one that's
Yeah.
living in their car or may have lived in their car.
Mm-hmm.
What's something that comes to your heart that you could leave the audience with?
You can never trust your own tuition completely. you can. There is that intuition, and you do have that gut feeling. You should obviously take a hold of that and take action when it tells you to. But you can't lean on your own understanding. Like, you have to lean on God for some things. Don't be prideful, because there's no point. It gets you in no good position. There's stories time and time again. And even for me, like the theme of the story, ego, having pride, it's just not good. It leads you nowhere. The next thing would probably be, you don't know what you don't know what to do because you don't know what you want to do. So if you know what you want to do, then you'll end up figuring out what to do in these like small little steps. Like, if you can just look at someone that you admire and you really visualize it and internalize it and just think, can I see myself doing that? Do I really like that? Do I really want that outcome? And if you do, then you'll take small steps and it'll just lead it into an abundance basically after that.
So good. So good. Dude, this was awesome. I thank God that our paths collided.
That's crazy.
And,
it's crazy how it happened.
It is crazy. And we've had some good times together.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys go back to my YouTube, there's a Ohio Vlog 1, Ohio Vlog 2. All of those original videos was all James. We actually have that of you hitting the scooter off.
The slow-mo.
Yeah, we were in Ohio. So, dude, I just want to thank you. This was awesome. I learned more about you today than I knew about you, which was awesome, dude. So
Yeah, I'm glad we did this.
Yeah.
This was cool. Thanks for having me on.
Appreciate you. I want to bring you back in a year, and I want to figure out what happened, right?
Yeah.
And then see where e-commerce is then from now. You guys are 7-figure business on e-commerce, right? Yeah. So 7 figures. I would like to know if you got to 8 or 9 in the next couple of years. Right. Remember, this podcast is money time, so we got to talk about a little bit of money.
Oh, we do.
So right on, dude. Well, I appreciate you having you on. For those of you that want to follow James, how do they get hold of you?
Instagram at James Prideaux _.
Love it.
That's it.
Don't get scammed, guys.
Don't get scammed.
James, Jigga, appreciate having you on, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Let's go. You guys, make sure you follow James. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. We'll see you soon.